Les Rencontres Africa represent the most important business forum between France and Africa so far. Following the successful first 2016 edition in Paris, it has been decided that the second edition will occur in African continent. The purpose of this private and public sectors project is to stimulate the creation of virtuous partnerships between African and French companies, whatever their size. Foster small and medium-sized businesses, startups and corporates to exchange, trade and partner, reinforce the dialogue of mutual interest between Africa and France. The most important question, why Kenya? The decision to organize the second edition in Kenya, as well as in Ivory Coast and Tunisia, is actually the result of a poll submitted during the first edition of Les Rencontres Africa last October in Paris. This demonstrates the interest French companies have for East African prospects. As a matter of fact, Les Rencontres Africa 2017 represent a strong opportunity to develop the business relationships between France, Kenya, and the rest of Eastern Africa. Nairobi has become a hub in terms of trade, finance, education, health, new technologies, and transport in the region. So, on behalf of the French ministries I represent here and all our partners in this project, I would be grateful to you to spread these elements to your respective audiences to make Les Rencontres Africa 2017 a big success. Thank you very much. Asante sana.
So it gives us a great pleasure today to be part of this launch for the upcoming Africa-France Business Forum. We would like to take this opportunity to thank the embassy and the organizers for finding time to be with us today. The Africa Business Forum aims to attract local, regional, and international delegates, of which African leaders from over 30 countries are expected to participate, along with over 150 French officials and CEOs. Remember, these are high-level business people, which we in the region would like to come and create partnerships with. And that is the reason why Kenya Investment Authority is actually making sure that we prepare the private sector from the region, we prepare ourselves so that we can come and take advantage of what these people are coming to present before us. The forum will, of course, entail sector-specific discussions on finance, ICT, agriculture and agro-industries, urban development, wholesale and retail, education, public-private partnerships, renewable energy, among others. So it gives us a great pleasure today to be part of this launch for the upcoming Africa-France Business Forum. We would like to take this opportunity to thank the embassy and the organizers for finding time to be with us today. We have so far received overwhelming requests. Actually, since the start of this engagement, we send out invitation for people to register, and I want to say that actually there's been overwhelming response. As we speak right now, over 400 companies have requested to participate in the forum. In fact, I was discussing with our partner that by the time the next 1 month or so, we shall actually receive more than what we actually projected to have registered for the forum for uptake. I would like to say that as Kenya Investment Authority, we are ready and we have profiled projects which we think are going to create a lot of interest between us and the French people who are coming. And we have published a booklet whereby it carries the projects which we think these people can come and discuss. The event actually resonates very well with our mandate of investment promotion. The robust Kenya-France cooperation has, of course, has seen the growth of French companies setting shop in Kenya. More than 75 French companies have already established offices in Kenya. The return of Bujo is a perfect example, but other French companies have also invested in Kenya and include Schneider Electric, L'Oreal, and so on and so forth. Government, of course, what we shall do is we shall continue with the reforms of ease of doing business so as to attract more investments in the country, and we want to continue offering support to domestic and foreign businesses. For the regional investment promotion agencies, which we have also invited to participate in, you know, Kenya is actually the leader in terms of regional integration. We would like to see participation of our regional partner states, Rwanda, Tanzania, Burundi, South Sudan, and so on and so forth. And I would like the investment promotion agencies of these countries to be part of us, so that we can be able to bring businesses and business discussions here come October. Finally, I would like to wish the French government, the French embassy in Kenya, the organizers, Classic Export, and all stakeholders for making Kenya the most preferred conference and tourism destination. Would like to say a Kenya Investment Authority will not let you down, but we are the home for investors. In case any one of you would like to start doing business in Kenya, please get in touch with us, because we are a government agency. Whatever information we give you is the true information. Whatever information we give you, we shall make sure that the correct information is delivered. We facilitate you, we take care of you, and we will listen to you so that you can grow. Because we have no business attracting investments which will not grow. We have responsibility of making sure that we attract investments so that those investments can grow.
Allow me to begin by acknowledging the gesture by the French government through the French embassy in Kenya for choosing our beautiful country, Kenya, as one of the 3 hosts for this very important event. Hosting this event in Kenya presents direct business opportunities for Kenyan businesses, especially in the hospitality sector, and a chance for local manufacturers to exhibit their products and market themselves. But of Kenyan exports to Europe, France accounts for about 5% of our exports and about 9% of Kenya's imports from Europe. So this conference will be therefore instrumental in expanding our 2 countries' market linkages and opening up new markets to increase trade between Kenya and France. As we've mentioned earlier through various speakers, as the world turns all its ears and eyes to the East Africa region, the flourishing destination for investment and business in Africa, the Rencontres Africa 2017 conference comes at a good time for investors from not only France, but from all over the world to explore the numerous opportunities that Africa's fastest growing region has to offer. Bolloré, Peugeot, etc., who have major operations in Kenya, and they create employment to more than 10,000 Kenyans. And we expect more new entrants as a result of this conference, creating even more jobs.
Africa is one of the, and I would say the continent of the future, and therefore it is the continent to be as a European and as a French business. We're extremely happy next to the French government, that the Kenyan government has been investing a lot of time and people actually into this organization through Can Invest. KEPSA in this case, not as much as a government organization, but a private organization. The Deputy President's Office, others as well, but also French partners that I don't think we should forget. We've got Business France, who is very, very much focused on the development of business in Kenya and the French companies. We've got Le MEDEF International, and we've got obviously the French Embassy. So this bringing together has caused a real dynamic to create this event that is going to be huge. Les Rencontres Africaines actually started out in last year in Paris, and we had 2,500 attendees from 30 African countries. So that was kind of the focus and the spark to say, let's move on and let's do it in a different way. So we do now every other year we'll go to the African continent, and every other year we'll be in France. So next year we'll be in France. The year after we will back on the continent here. To show the importance of the French government has already confirmed the presence of our Prime Minister, our Minister of Foreign Affairs and Europe, and the Secretary of State of Foreign Affairs, who will be sharing their duties. In Kenya, we will be hosting up to 600 Kenyan business people or leaders. 390 have actually already confirmed. So we're not talking small amounts of people, it's actually a big community. We have 150 business people that we're expecting. We've got 105 today that have been confirmed, of which, for example, the Vice President from Alstom, we've got the Director Africa for Bolloré, Manitou, Klextral, Rani, Total, We've got various people from all over, and it's not going to be only the big companies. There's also a lot of medium, intermediate companies that will be interested in working with the Kenyan companies in this case to move forward into the East African region. So what is there to be expected, and why will it be different from other events? Because you host a lot of events in this country. Well, let's start with the format. The focus is a business-to-business meetings. And why do I say business-to-business? Well, it's actually business. People make business. It is not just the business, it's people. So that is why we call it des rencontres. Les rencontres, and rencontre is very simple, it's a meeting. So it's the Africa Meetings 2017, basically, to translate. And so we will have 6 colloquiums that will be held over 1.5 days with key speakers like Chris Karubi, Lionel Zanzou, who's the former Prime Minister of Benin, but more importantly also in charge of a big investment fund. Mr. Negatu, who is the Director for East Africa for the African Development Bank, and the French Development Agency, obviously, that will be here, as well as private investors. They will be here not only just to meet on projects, they will be also to explain to you how investment works, how financing works, how funding works, because that is not always easy to understand. So 6 colloquiums which will have highly qualified speakers that will not only share just what I call professor talk, but actually real life experience of what is going on the ground, how do you do things, and what can we expect, because as Kenyans, you know how to do business in Kenya. But as French, we honestly haven't got a clue how to do business in Kenya. So it's a way to get people together and to move them forward. There's an opportunity for Kenyan companies to participate as partners in the exhibition area and to participate in the workshops. But there's also still time for Kenyan companies actually to sign up and to go to Ivory Coast, because you know what, there might be actually an opportunity for you there. So for that, they can go to the website. The event will be held at the Intercontinental Hotel, so this is where you are, on the 5th and the 6th of October this year, and this day will start by an opening session at 9 a.m. here. What I would personally like to insist upon as a business person and as a foreign trade advisor is that these encounters provide numerous opportunities for all of us, and it's not just government or whatever, it's people at high levels from all over will be here, all at the same time, all in one place. It does not require weeks to meet people. It does not require weeks to call people. You will all have them in one place. And that is just simple math. It's called cost reduction, because traveling all over the place is costly. The event brings together the best of all worlds, and together we're always stronger than on our own. So France is putting its diplomatic services at the heart of our economy by focusing on all our businesses to grow. And allow actually job creation in France, but also, as you've heard previously, here in Kenya. So I look very much forward to seeing you. As for the press, I would like to thank you for your presence here. And I look forward to seeing you all on the 5th at the Intercontinental.